B-A-T. It's in the name.
Welcome into the Helping Healing Humor with Ben and Travis podcast. On today's episode, you may could tell I'm a little hoarse, right? From yelling and screaming, either at a football game or at Dodgeball. I'm going to talk about the third annual Stayin Alive Disco Dodgeball Tournament for St. Jude and all the happenings and goings on with that. And we look forward to talking about that right after these important messages. This episode of the Helping Healing Humor with Ben and Travis podcast is presented by Faulkner University. Faulkner University is a private Christian liberal arts university based in Montgomery, Alabama, with a mission to provide an education anchored by not only intellect, but also character and service. The Faulkner experience aims to educate the whole person. Every individual matters every day. We all want to become better versions of ourselves. No one wants to remain trapped where they are because of missed opportunities and unrealized dreams. At Faulkner University, we believe your dreams don't have an expiration date. We understand that you're looking for more than a degree. You want to find your niche and thrive in your career. Whether you're a high school senior just beginning your trek or an adult student looking for a better path, Faulkner is here to help guide your journey. Go to faulkner.edu to apply or get more info. That's faulkner.edu. I'm Travis Creasy, that's All-Pro Counselor, and my commentator colleague for the Dodgeball Tournament, Ben Hayes. You're with Three Chord Counseling in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. How are you, man? You got out there and threw some dodgeballs around a little bit.
I did. That's maybe the first time I've got out there and thrown any dodgeballs at it, and I hit two little kids. Made one of them cry, and the other one almost cried. So, I mean, there's that. I feel like I was pretty successful dodgeball player today. So
always a good day.
Will played a little while, and then he kind of just turned it over to his team because they were domination station, so they didn't really need his help. But anyway, how you doing, Will?
I'm doing good. I've reached the age now where you throw about 4 and that's all the arm can take these days.
Let it
be. Yeah, it worked out really well. We have increased Brainsley's velocity. So from last year to this year, so we just let her roll with it. So we didn't have to do too much.
I'll say I noticed that. Now we're going to bring on Josh Thorne. Josh, do you know where you are right now?
Hey, how'd dodgeball go today? Y'all have a good time?
We did. You probably have no recollection after taking 4 headshots in the game. I think the goal was to catch it with your hands, not with your head.
Not my face. Yeah. What a disaster. So 4 to the front of my head, 1 to the back of my head. The very beginning of the game, Andrew on my team, he at the cusp of his release, it centered the back of my head. I saw stars on that one, and then when Will hit me in the face, I couldn't see out of my eye for a few seconds. And then everything after that, it's kind of a blur. So
the question is, are you wearing sunglasses to cover up the black eyes that you have been given?
Yeah, partially. It's probably pretty bad. I don't know. It's I think I have a busted blood vessel on this side, but I just don't want people thinking the worst. So
we do a little front end work on getting sponsors, and you decide to show up today and make sure that Luke Krieger with the insurance got his sponsorship worth.
Yeah, he got a shout out. It's like that trap song, Headstrong. I mean, it was. I mean, you couldn't have written that any worse for me, but better for everybody else. So
yeah, there you go. And you have to look out for that on the highlight reel. Of course, Will has already taken it upon himself to clip it up pretty good. Couple, so maybe some church relations tomorrow as we record this on the Saturday. May need to be some repentance and maybe some reunification, redeeming that relationship. It did look like there was some malice there. Will, you want to speak to that real quick? I mean,
I love Josh. He's become one of my favorite people. Maybe it's because Josh knows how to laugh at himself, and that was maybe the only person I hit the entire day. So it may have just been complete dumb luck. So
it was plank in my eye or something like that, speck in my eye. It was something very, very similar. But it was funny. When I got done, he came over to me. He was like crying, laughing. He goes, "It hit your head so hard, it almost bounced right back to me."
That is true.
Is it like the Kobe Bryant clip in the I think it was in the Olympics or something where he just runs over the guy and just to start it off.
Yeah.
You know, he's just like, I got to just stop. I mean, we're friends, but I'm establishing tone here.
Yeah, he Will set the tone, and I think everybody's like, well, if Will can do it, then I can too. So
I was just trying to assert dominance so that my team could be confident that I still have some sense of authority in their lives. So yeah.
Will, you can't be quadrupling stamping a triple stamp. You just can't do that type of stuff at a dodgeball tournament. But, you know, it's really all about helping kids. And we certainly want to help kids here in the United States dealing with cancer. Terrible stories and things that go on there. But we're always happy to help people who are helping them. And also kids around the world. We've got TravisLovesHaiti.com. We're still rocking and rolling for Liberté Ministries and trying to get them in front of 12 new congregations, and of course raising awareness for the folks down there and how Christians are helping. And you can donate a Bible for $5, and they'll get a Bible in the Haitian language. So we're certainly trying to still do that. And of course, through the dodgeball tournament, there'll be a lot of sore arms tomorrow. Ben, I think you mentioned Highland Park takes home the overall Golden Wrench. They're 2-time champions, beating my Riverside team in the overall championship. And, of course, Polaris taking home the Golden Wrench there, Josh. So is it worth the 4 headshots to be the adult division champion?
You know, only time will tell, to be honest with you. You know, we'll see the carnage of that one. But, yeah, I think so. I'm going to put it up in my office window, and it's definitely a trophy piece in my office. So, as of right now, yes. But ask me again tomorrow. So.
Well, and you guys got to go home with a pretty awesome consolation prize too, I guess. But I mean, it was part of the package of winning the adult section of the tournament, and you got some ratchet straps from Strap Outlaw, right? And maybe some other swag in the bag there that they gave out. But tell us a little bit about what you got from there and how excited you are for it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially being with Polaris and needing something for a tow rig. It was exciting to see that. Very cool self-retracting ratchet strap. I've never seen that. So, of course, I bought myself one, and even the ones he gave us. So, the whole team's pretty excited about it. Every one of us have a trailer and some type of rig. And Andrew even bought the industrial size ones because he's got a bulldozer and tractor and trailer and stuff like that. So we're excited to use the product. And I know Andrew, he's going to go back and tell all his buddies too. So, but no, I'm pretty excited about that. That was actually kind of a surprise to me to give away something like that. So that was great.
The youth group members that won on my team were actually ticked that y'all got the ratchet straps and they didn't. So maybe next year, Josh going to have to ante up for the teenagers. They got a bunch of Chick-fil-A. Like I think he gave 2 or 3 free meals to Chick-fil-A. Yeah. And one of the guys was like, "I would rather have the ratchet straps."
Yeah, those things are sweet. That's true. I don't blame them.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to know when they're asking about those prizes because it's like, I mean, you know, Josh was giving a whole lot away. He sponsored big time, and it was kind of like, well, you don't know what the teenage group's going to be composed of, but you ended up having some guys that probably had trucks and Jeeps and different stuff. So, yeah, they got some Chick-fil-A. So maybe when they get on an adult team one of these days, they'll be able to get there.
Yeah,
that's right.
So, Will, you guys won, and so the MVP was on your team, the Clear Choice Window Cleaning MVP. You know, so what did he bring to the team? Like, why did you feel like he was the MVP?
So, if you remember, I think RCA had a little lefty in some looked like swim trunks, the little blue swim trunks that he had a lot of confidence in himself to come in second. But you know, some of those guys were getting, every time they hit somebody, got a little cocky, you know, whatever. And so Brady just took it upon himself to just go nuts to demoralize any confidence that they had within their life. And so when Brady gets competitive, there's just a different Brady that comes out. And so just brought all the energy. At one point, middle of the game, took 2 ibuprofen and just got right back out there. Because he looked at me and he goes, Will, is my arm supposed to hurt this bad? And I was like, probably,
Yeah.
I guess so, with the velocity in which you're trying to throw a foam ball. And so, yeah, I mean, Brady's always one of those that he's going to give 110%. He's going to try and completely dominate, his opponent. So we had to give it to him. He was the senior leader of the team. So he took it, in our opinion.
Travis, how did your team?
I don't think you guys lost a match on your way to the Studio 23 Golden Wrench.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that, but we did beat every single person in every single game that we played, every single person. So
well, I'm glad I could bring that up for you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel kind of bad throwing it at my daughter's elementary school teachers, but
vengeance on Monday.
Yeah.
So here was the thing about the Mars Hill elementary teachers was they had kind of talked about last year. They watched it and they were like, this would be fun to do. And so kind of last minute, I sent something to them. I said, we're needing some more teams. You think you can help? And Morgan Snodgrass was one of the ones last year. And she's like, I'm on it. Like an hour later, she texts me. She said, I've already registered a team. I've got 5. I'll find some more. And so, I mean, she was ready. And then she walked in, and the first thing she saw was all you guys, throwing around like the RCA guys in Highland Park. And she said she just kind of stopped and stared for a minute, like, what have I done? But they held their own. I mean, they came in there and they did a good job. We were able to add a couple of guys to their team, and that helped out a whole lot. And so I think they had a good time. They posted and talked about how much they enjoyed it. So I think it was a pretty good experience for them, even though they got one win. I think did they beat Polaris one time? Was that their one win that they got?
I think so. I think we went 2-3 with them one round or something.
Yeah, I think that was right. So
I think it was a major win that none of them tore their ACLs. And I'm not saying that, to be mean, but like there were some falls there that concerned me a couple of times. And so
there'll be some slow walking into church from all teams, probably, if I had to guess. And of course, we got all kinds of people who come together to do this. I'm running the 5K. Ben, I don't know what you're running. Josh, you're obviously running farther than I'm going to anytime. And sometimes you're sick when you do it. But we kind of set that bar. We set that bar pretty high, and our sponsors, like I said, have come through. And I just want to make sure we mention all of them. I know we've mentioned some of them already. We're thankful to the Rogers family for remembering their dad by sponsoring and making it the Tony Pop Rogers, which I just love that, right? Like it's perfect.
Fantastic
memorial tournament. And so that's awesome. CYC Transform Ladies Conference, they're been sponsors for a couple of years now. And of course, Mars Hill, always willing to let us turn that place into the disco inferno itself. So always fired up about that. And of course, Burt Brederick sponsoring the end of game, however that was, whether it was a headshot, knocking the pins down. We didn't have anybody go in the goal again. We had a couple of close calls.
Real close.
You remain to be the only one to hit the half quarter so far, Will. And
that's what a couple of my youth group guys were like, should we go for it? And I was like, fellas, there's only been 1 in 3 years. Like, let's not keep aiming for this.
No ulterior motive there.
Yeah, I think I was like, and I think I told Parker, I was like, I think I was 1 for like 20 on it. So I was like, it's not great odds there. So
Colton Drake from Riverside hit the rim like 3 times.
Yes,
he did get close.
He needed one. He needed one in that finale versus Highland Park. And for some reason, I couldn't get them to understand with 10 seconds left, when it's 5v1, your only chance is to hit the goal. And they kept
just
throwing
start launching.
anyways. Yeah. All right.
So I was going to say this. The ladies at Mars Hill were told by the principal that I would lose my job if they couldn't come to work on Monday.
Oh boy.
So they were threatened pretty heavily not to injure themselves. But Travis, how'd you think about how your team came out? And how they played.
I thought for most of them having played a football game last night and walking around like the Walking Dead, I thought they did pretty well. I mean, they knew they had their work cut out for them up against the Highland Park juggernaut over there. But I'm glad most of them were very happy. All of them on the way home were like, man, that was a lot of fun. And so we hadn't let a lot of middle schoolers go, but we didn't fill up with high school kids. So we let the middle schoolers come, and I think they're fired up for years to come. And obviously it's a good cause, and we're fired up about that. And I think we were talking earlier, I'm fairly confident we'll be approaching $3,000 raised. I haven't counted the money yet. So that's a big honking deal. That'll take a little anxiety off of my shoulders trying to raise $4,000 for the St. Jude.
For sure. Yeah, that's awesome. So when it comes to the actual games being played, what were some of your favorite moments that you saw?
Oh, I really liked when you hit those two kids with the dodgeballs. That was and then you got booed. That was really awesome. I was kind of jealous. I want to get booed for hitting kids with dodgeballs. So that has to rank up there pretty high.
It's up, and it wasn't even really a part of the official. I had one or two of those kids kept coming up behind us while we were broadcasting and stuff.
Great idea. On the ride home, I thought, man, that was awesome. To let those kids get out there and do that, and then of course you getting booed and hitting them. It's always a plus. So that's mine.
It was pretty good. Pretty good. I meant to say this while Josh was on here, and I'm looking forward to seeing if there's a reel of it at some point. But somewhere he's standing like almost with his hands on his knees waiting, and it's like he doesn't even know a ball's coming at his head, and it just hits him. He doesn't move. His hands don't move. His body doesn't move until it bounces off his head, and he's like, and walks off. And I was like, I kind of wanted the backstory on that one and see. But that was one of my favorite, I guess, parts. And then one of the ladies, Miss, I think Loveless is her last name, from the Mars Hill crew. She was one of the parents that chose to play. And she had two falls. And it wasn't just a hard fall. It was one of those that was just it. It was like, is she gonna, get it back before she hits the ground, or is she gonna fall? And one time it was forward, and one time it was backward, and it was just kind of like watching that go on and knowing you can't do anything about it, but it just kept on falling. She just kept falling.
We need that Mars Hill team to declare early, and then can you imagine how many students would be like, "Oh, I've been waiting here for this chance to come out," right? I mean, you need them to come on back 6 months in advance, and then have all the revenge teams
exactly
go up. So, Will, what do you think? Other than hoisting the trophy and teaching my kids to be humble from Riverside, what ranks up there?
What? One that got me, so, after we did the round robin, and then we went into kind of the true tournament once it was seeded, we put the bowling pins, so 2 bowling pins on each person's side, so 4 total in the corners, and you could knock them down. Well, I believe it was Polaris I forgot, they may have been playing RCA, and they got down to one guy, and it wasn't Andrew, it was the other guy, but he's a pretty tall guy, pretty just strong guy, and one of the RCA kids rolled the ball, and it is just coming right at the bowling pin, and he's on the other side. So he's running, and he gets to it and just kicks it and drills it to the other end of the court.
Yeah,
and then
that's right.
As soon as he kicks that one, they roll another one on the other side. So he has to sprint, and he sprints all the way across and just knocks the bowling pin over. He's trying to block it and just completely drills it. And so it was just funny watching him run back and forth trying to protect the bowling pins, and that RCA wouldn't just try and hit him.
Yeah.
He's one person left, and they're just rolling, to the pins on each side.
I was not really a part of their strategy. I will say that. I don't want to distance myself from them just because they lost, but there were a couple of times I couldn't help myself but coach them. And of course, as usual, they just ignored anything I said. So,
Alyssa Wilbanks made a pretty good play on one going towards the pin too. At some point,
Yes, I remember that.
She sprinted across, and I thought that was some pretty good athleticism on her part. So
my favorite was picking up the chicken stew from Justin Brederick, and I've almost already eaten a half a gallon by myself since I got home. So
nice.
I just forgot the Tabasco sauce. That's all I needed, but I didn't have any at the house.
Whitney was very excited when I walked in with a jar full, because when we pulled through the parking lot, he was getting rid of, he was trying to get it out of there. He didn't want to take it home. And I was like, I'll take a jar, because I know that Whitney makes fun of us Shoals people for eating chicken stew when it's hot outside.
On Labor Day,
what is wrong with you guys? So it was great walking in the door and be like, "Hun, look what I brought you." I mean, and it's true. It was warm. It was still warm. It made it all the way home warm because it's hot outside. But maybe that's it, right? You don't have
That's
to.
Lindsay Myhan. Every time we have a family get together during the summer, we're eating chicken stew, and she goes, "I do not understand why we're eating hot stew when it's 100 degrees outside."
It's a Shoals thing, I guess.
It's great, though. He did a great job with it.
Where's Muscle Shoals? Does Muscle Shoals, do they do it over there? Or is that just across the river? Is that
I don't know. I've not heard a lot of other people on this side of the river.
I was about to say, anytime I eat it, it's on that side of the river.
Yeah,
maybe it's a Florence thing. Well, I haven't even looked, fellas, at what next year's date will be for the dodgeball. That probably would be wise to put it in there, because there's always something that comes up to bother us on that. But I think it's the 16th of August at Mars Hill Bible School. August 16th. Might go ahead and mark your calendar. We'd love for you to be with us. We'd love for you to live stream with us. Hey folks, on August 24th, join us at the Marriott Shoals Conference Center for the 2024 Heritage event, sponsored by Heritage Christian University. This year, we're proud to have Ricky Skaggs and Kentucky Thunder headlining. Experience an incredible evening of bluegrass music while supporting a great cause. All proceeds are used to prepare students for thriving ministries worldwide. Secure your tickets at hcu.edu today, and I'll see you there. TravisLovesHaiti.com question of the day. Will Myhan, what is your overall? I asked this on the preview. We'll wrap up the show this way. But on the review, we're asking you, what is your dodgeball memory, right? I mean, like, overall, as I say dodgeball, most people, even Chase today, representing Mars Hill on their team, asked me, said, where's the real dodgeballs at? The one that makes the ping sound and rips off your flesh as it hits you in the face. I said, well, we don't have any of those because we don't want to be sued into the next millennia. So give me a dodgeball memory that just, when you think of dodgeball, that's what you're...
The thing, and I mentioned that to Chase, I don't know that I have a specific memory, just because so many times at Maywood growing up, which it's like illegal now apparently, school, all that was the thing that we played dodgeball with was what kids today play kickball with.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, and so I looked at Chase and I was like, this snowflake generation, it's like, if only, but then I would have felt, the more I got thinking about it throughout the day was, man, if we were playing dodgeball with the dodgeballs we played with, Ben would have really drilled that kid.
Oh yeah.
And it would
he'd
have
need more than a McDonald's gift card to make up.
No doubt.
Right.
Could have knocked them off their feet.
Here's my insurance card, more like it.
Yeah.
$5 McDonald's wouldn't have gone very far if it would have been that.
See, here's my hot take on that, Will, right? Like, to me, it's more dangerous playing kickball with them. Because, you can't control that. I mean, I guess there's one of those balls instead of six of them, but still.
I also think, like, I caught myself saying it even today. It was like, throw at their feet, throw at their feet, throw at their feet. But then, like when we were growing up, it was like headshot, headshot,
Yeah.
headshot. You
Yeah.
know, like so maybe
Well,
I'm
we used
even.
to not count the headshots, but we count them in ours.
That's right.
I mean,
Hey,
Yeah, we do.
Krieger needs a reason for his name to be said, right? So definitely
you got it
check out
said
their
quite
Instagram.
often.
Yeah.
So
Well, guys, I appreciate all the effort you put in. We start advertising this thing pretty early in the spring. Appreciate all the teams, Riverside, Marshall, Highland Park, Polaris. They're phenomenal. They're great. They make this thing happen. And, of course, all of the great sponsors. I hope I hit and talked about all of them. You weren't left out on purpose. I think we got them all. But, man,
did we
just
get
a
Studio
blessing.
23 in there?
Yeah,
Did we get
Studio
Studio
23, where it was the Golden Ranch. I'm pretty sure I
Yeah.
mentioned it,
Yeah,
but hey,
I
I'll
remember.
say it again. Thank you, Studio 23. And we'll do it again next year, Lord willing, the creeks don't rise, whatever that means. And we'll talk at you guys again soon.
Thanks for being with us for this episode of the Helping Healing Humor podcast. Be sure to download our free ebook, 28 Days of Focused Living, at benandtravis.com and receive all of our Helping Healing and Humor extra content directly in your inbox. We look forward to having you join us at the same Ben and Travis time, same Ben and Travis channel.